An absolute epic time to be invested in gold and silver. And we want to look at all the reasons why, all the big stories that are pushing the silver and gold price right now and what it means for the future of the precious metals. We're going to do it together. Please subscribe to the channel. I want you to come back down here in the basement and spend some more time with myself and upstairs, Susie. I've got to do a quick update today because next I will be interviewing Jim McDonald. He's the CEO of Kootenai Silver. We're going to get his insights on what's happening right now in the silver market. Look for that video interview coming out later today. He has decades of experience and some keen insights into what is happening. But let's talk about right now. Can you believe that physical silver is almost $20 per ounce higher in China? We're going to look at that. We got to talk about the silver billionaire. We got new news from him, and we're going to hear from President Donald Trump. Right here we are in the basement. Hold on one second here, guys. Sorry, things are moving at the speed of sound right now. All right, let's go out to China, and this is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Our friend the Oriental Ghost. Hold on one second. All right. Hey, we got to ring the gong. Shares with us the latest data from the Shanghai Gold Exchange, which shows us in no uncertain terms that in China, the physical price for silver right now is $100 and almost $6 per ounce. Again, guys, that's the Shanghai Gold Exchange. That is their physical market. In their futures market, it's actually a little bit lower, barely, teeny weeny, itsy bitsy into backwardation, which is very unusual. But compare this price right here, the 105.59, to what we see when we go out to KITCO and get the screen up for you there, $86 per ounce. Silver was up big this morning. Let's talk about that because, talk about two things. Number one, let that sink in for a second. Right? To buy one physical ounce of silver in China cost about $105. Supposedly, at the LBMA, the spot market in the West, it cost $85, a $20 difference. Now, what happened this morning, we've been talking about how important it is to be prepared. We are going to have volatility in the silver and gold market. Probably will go on for a couple months as we consolidate. But guys, if we consolidate above $80 per ounce, possibly above $90 per ounce, that is an unbelievable platform from which maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months, but from which we could blast off much, much higher. Let's go to Dubai. There's something interesting happening in Dubai. We're going to go on a little trip around the world together right now. And here we go. We get this from the Whale Insider, which is a huge account on X, 650,000 followers. They break this news this morning. Just in, silver shortage in Dubai, one of the wealthiest countries in the world, as buyers are now paying a 15% premium amid rising demand. And that comes from the Khalij Times. We had reports yesterday, right, from, hold on here. We had reports yesterday from Australia, from Singapore, from everywhere. We're getting this news that there's a worldwide physical shortage of silver. And why is that so important? Because this is a physical-driven rally. This rally that we've seen in silver is not based on the paper market. The paper market's trying to push it down, down, down. The physical market is pushing it higher and higher. And as you know, that's happening with the help of our friends in China and India, who have really begun to take over the pricing mechanism for silver. Look, it was 6.5 weeks ago, roughly, that we sat down here and the Shanghai Gold Exchange price and the LBMA spot price were just about the same. And we talked about, like, wow, now it's really happening. The actual paper market is being forced to recognize the physical market. That, I believe, will happen again. That the Chinese and the Indian markets will drag, and the market in Dubai, the physical market will drag, kicking and screaming, right? Those boys and girls at the COMEX and the LBMA, they aren't going to like it. They will be kicking and screaming but it will drag the actual paper price of silver to be much closer to the physical price. Let's go out next. Let's go to Singapore. We're going to go a little bit out of order here. Then we're going to talk about the latest from the silver billionaire. Bullion Star just put this out. Quick update on the ground. Bullion Star is the biggest, or one of the biggest, I believe the biggest bullion dealer in Singapore, one of the richest countries in the world. The physical market is under serious stress. The physical market, silver especially, near impossible to source. Mints are closed, refineries are backlogged, and most competitors are empty. Okay, they have inventory, and they're talking about how premiums are skyrocketing. So we're getting news from one of the biggest, most reputable, trustworthy bullion dealers in Asia, in Singapore, one of the richest countries around. But what's interesting, and we're seeing this in Dubai, we're seeing it in Singapore from Bullion Star, premiums are rising. Premiums are how retail demand is measured, and on a worldwide basis, it's beginning to explode. Are we going to see it even more so on the online bullion dealers in the United States? We'll be keeping a close eye on it. But remember, the big key takeaway here, guys, this is a physical driven rally in the metal. Oh, and by the way, the mining sector, the amount of physical they've been producing for almost the last 10 years now, since 2016, has been going down, down, down. It hasn't collapsed, but the silver production from the world's mining sector has been going down. What about the billionaire? David Bateman, the new Hunt brothers. This is crazy. We have an update, on just how much silver he actually has right now. This came from the Silver Academy. Bateman outsmarts JP Morgan and Bateman outsmarts the JP Morgan silver crash. He bought their engineered dip while everyone else panicked. And again, what happened on Friday, there's no other way to explain it except that it was engineered. Read another big article this morning. A 10 sigma event is cannot naturally happen. It has to be engineered. But as Wall Street dumped into the manufactured smash, Bateman quietly scooped up millions of ounces at fire sale prices, turning their cartel playbook into his personal wealth machine. And now look at this, guys. This is what's crazy. Today's spot price, it was $91.50 when this was written. Bateman's 4 silver strikes now look like a masterclass in conviction. He has 15.77 million, almost 16 million ounces of silver. And this guy is smart, and he's not buying, again, the big key takeaway here is he's not buying paper silver. He's not buying futures contracts on the COMEX. He's not buying LBMA silver. He's buying the actual physical silver. And last week, he put out a message that said he was ready to buy $200 million in junk silver, 90% constitutional silver. He's serious. He means business. And we're going to keep a close eye on it. Now, let's talk about the big story of the day. Before I do that, thank you to First Mint for sponsoring Ron's Basement, premium retail experience for buying silver bullion. They are the silver bullion specialists. Check them out at firstmint.com. Don't forget, they have a special discount code just for you, VIPRB, and our friends at First Mining Gold, Canadian gold development company with 2 multi-million-ounce projects, Spring Pole in Ontario, Du Parquet in Quebec, millions of ounces of gold in the ground, working through the development phase. You can learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. But the big story, we're going to hear from President Trump himself, not a political channel. I'm just reporting what's going on, but they're talking about a $12 billion critical mineral stockpile. Let's get into this. We got 3 things to look at. First and foremost, we had this come out from the New York Times. So mainstream media, and now I'm sharing the right screen. Sorry about that, guys. There it is. New York Times. Trump unveils $12 billion critical mineral stockpile. The quote-unquote Project Vault initiative is intended to reduce U.S. reliance on China for key technology components. Then it's getting covered by mainstream media. Again, CBS News. Trump says, today we're announcing the creation of the U.S. Strategic Critical Mineral Reserve, the first ever stockpile of critical minerals that you've been hearing so much about. Okay. And he says, just as we've long had a strategic patrol. Oh, I'm not sharing the right screen. Sorry, guys. Here we are. Now we're on CBS News. You don't need me to show you that last paragraph I read. And let's go. What the heck? There it is. Just as we've long had a strategic petroleum reserve and a stockpile of critical minerals for national defense. And that is going on right now. Something very interesting we're going to point out after we listen to President Trump himself talk about what's going on. This is 1 minute long. Here we go.
For years, American businesses have risked running out of critical minerals during market disruptions. Today, we're launching what will be known as Project Vault to ensure that American businesses and workers are never harmed by any shortage. We don't want to ever go through what we went through a year ago. Just as although it did work out, thank you. Just as we have long had a strategic petroleum reserve and a stockpile of critical minerals for national defense, we're now creating this reserve for American industry so we don't have any problems. This historic initiative will combine $10 billion in export-import bank financing with $2 billion in private sector financing. And we even expect the American taxpayer to make a profit from the interest on the loan used to start the Project Vault. It's an amazing thing. They've been talking about it for years. Other presidents did a lot of talking, but they didn't do anything.
Okay, guys. So what's the big takeaway here? Okay. And apparently there's like leaders from 50 countries in Washington, D.C. right now talking about critical minerals. Silver is on the critical mineral list. Okay. Think about what's happening right now. This is real. The scramble for critical metals, including silver, is real. The world has woken up. The Chinese woke up. The Indians woke up. All those people in Singapore woke up. All those people in Dubai woke up. All those people queued up. You know, they don't call it lines in Australia. They call it queues. Queued up in Australia have woke up to the fact that there is a shortage and now a scramble for silver, which explains to us why this current rally that we have in the silver price is physical driven. The paper price, yeah, sure, we'll look at it. We're, used to it, brainwashed, whatever you want to say. But it is becoming less and less significant. What really matters is how much does it cost to get our paws on one of these, right? An ounce of physical silver. That's the back of the Las Vegas round from channel sponsor First Mint. And it's real. Now, I was laughing because I thought, well, President Trump, if you want to get a strategic reserve of silver, maybe you're going to have to talk to our favorite silver, the new Hunt brothers, but he's doing it with physical silver. The gentleman we talked about earlier, Mr. Bateman. We are in a new paradigm for the metals. We may consolidate for a while. That's okay, guys. If we consolidate at $80, if we consolidate at $90, if we consolidate at $70, it's all okay. This is not a day by day thing. We have a long-term perspective, just like we had 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. Let me ask you a question. Where do you think the silver price, if you choose to use the US dollar as the measuring stick, where do you think the price of silver will be in 3 years, in 5 years? Look, everybody has to answer that for themselves. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't make any financial decisions based on what I'm saying. But if we choose to use the US dollar paper, right, this stuff, right, to measure the value of silver, when I look out 3 to 5 years, all I can say is, or look out even 10 years, the sky is literally the limit, right? We've got a fundamental story with silver and with gold, but a fundamental story with silver. Guys, we are using more silver than we produce every year. That's been the case for 5 years. In these mining companies, again, I'm going to be talking to Jim McDonald here in a second. I'll put the interview out later. But these mining companies, they can't just turn a switch and turn and make more silver. Okay. It's going to take years and years. Phillips Baker, the former CEO of Hecla Mining, the United States' oldest and largest silver mining company, he said it would be 2030 at the earliest that the mining sector could actually start to have any kind of material increase in their output of silver. I don't know. It seems interesting to me. I got to run. Thanks for being here. Please subscribe to the channel. It's free. We got the big special going on again for 2026. It's free to come join me in the basement. It's a big honor when you do. Look, this is not possible without your participation. Your time is valuable, and I appreciate you coming down here today. Take care, okay? And I will see you, yes, you, I'm looking at you next time.